Okay, so in this exercise, we're going to just cover just a lot of different things we haven't covered already, or some of the things we have, but maybe a slightly different way. And just go through some of the reports you can run and the different functionalities you can use in Sage. And a lot of this stuff will also be applicable for your project at the end of the term. So hopefully this video will be useful to go back to revise. We cover some in class as well, but I just want you to have a video as well, so you can study in your own time and you can view it and pause it, rewind it, go do it in your own speed. And if you're able to download the free version of Sage at home as well, you can kind of mess around with it as well to get comfortable with it and just to continue upskilling and learning how to use Sage. So let's go. I'm going to open up Sage accounts again. And I'm going to open up the company that I created for the previous exercise. So your window pops up. I actually created it twice just for doing the different exercises. So the number 2 over here is the most recent version. So I'm going to open up that one. Haven't loading limit. Okay, so now I'm back into where we left off in the previous exercise. And you can probably use any of the data you have or any of the companies you've set up or even the dummy data to do some of this, but maybe to follow this video, it's best to use the solution you've worked through from the first exercise from the earlier videos. Okay, so some simple stuff first. So change the name of the bank account 1200 to account current. So very easy. Just go to your bank accounts, double click to open up the current account, and the nominal name you can literally edit just by typing over it. Let's change it to account current. And save it down at the bottom. No particular reason we're doing this other than to show you how easy it is to edit details of your different bank accounts. So there's the name changed, like you can see there, balance remains the same. We've just renamed the account name. Change the name of customer account Donals stores to Donal Limited. Again, very easy. Go to your customers, open up Donal stores, double click. And you can see that it's now saved, change of name. Okay, so very easy to edit any details like that in Sage for any records. Another function, so save down copies of all sales invoices to your computer or USB. So if you were using this in real life, you might want to print or reprint an invoice. Customer might have lost their invoice, or they might say, can you email it to me? Okay, so go into invoices and credits. We only have 2 invoices, so click on this one first. If the customer wanted an email to them, you could just hit the email button, and if you've saved their email address into the customer portal, it will email it to them. If we want to print it or save it down, hit the print button. We have nothing saved in our favorites yet, so go to layouts then. Layouts is just all the different types of layouts and templates that's built into Sage. You can see there's nearly far too many of them. You'll never need most of those. Top one is normally the most recommended one. Now it says totals are shown in sterling in this ones, but don't worry about that. That's the totals shown in sterling and euro. We don't have any sterling, so it should just come up in euros. Okay, standard template built into Sage. So there's the detail of your invoice, the 3 different products, the unit price, the net amount, the VAT amount, and then down at the bottom it shows the total net and the total VAT. Don't worry that it looks like it's gone off the page there. That just some setting within the formatting here. If you print it off, it should print out fine. Otherwise you have to just find a different one where it's pulled up and it's on the page. So again, from here we can print, we can email, we can export it, we can put it into Excel. So what we want to do is save it down. So we go export, At this point, you would either set up a folder. Let's just set up a new folder for this exercise, just for the example here. I'm going to go new folder. I'm going to go 9 seconds exercise. I'm going to open that. And a new folder again called sales invoices. That. And you can save it there. Okay, and then if we search for that folder on our desktop, let's have an exercise, sales invoices, and there it is in PDF. Let's open it up. Okay, and you see it comes up fine there. It's just in the Sage preview. It looked a bit funny, but you can see it's all on the one page there. You can obviously rename it. That's just a name that's downloaded from Sage. You can obviously rename it, sales invoice, whatever. Right click, rename. Whatever you want to name it, that's fine. You can rename it. Likewise, you can do the same for all the other invoices and your credits, whatever. So that is how you print off or save down an email or a sales invoice from Sage. So again, quite easy. Once you know how, a lot of the stuff is quite easy, just knowing where to go. So now let's run a debtors statement. So go to our customers button, our customers module, and there's a statement button up here. So we have only 2 customers. So if we highlight both of them, so hold down the control button on your keypad and click so that the both of them are selected. And then click on the statements button up here. Again, there's no favorites selected. You can save some favorites. So we go to layouts, see all the layouts. If you like some of them, as you get more familiar with Sage, you can hit the star button and that will add them to your favorites up at the top. And they come in there then. So again, let's just go with the first one here. The date range is fine. And so this is for DST Donal Limited. You can see the name change is showing up here already. And he made 1 purchase and we gave him a credit note for 5 items he returned as well. Tells the date and the reference number of the invoice and the credit, the total balance at the bottom. There's probably other versions that will give you headings down here. This is the amount, if there was an amount outstanding. So there's the current amount, and this would be the age. So greater than 30 days, 60 days, or older than that again, the aging of it. So it's all current because we've just done the sale recently. Good. And then this is our second customer. We made one sale to him and he's fully paid up. So you can see there's nothing owed to him. So this is what you would send to your customers at the end of the month, showing how much they owe you and how old the debt is. So it's probably good to have a look around and find one that actually gives the headings here. There should always be headings there, 0 to 30, 30 to 60, 60 to 90. Otherwise, your customer won't know the age of their own debt. And that's the key thing to have on the statement. So again, we go export, and we will say debtors terminology the same, debtor statements, debtors statement. In real life, you would rename it to something that makes sense. You would not update communication history, no. We close that and then just double check that that's saved down okay. There we go. It's actually probably a better idea when we're doing this in real life. If you're working, you're using this in your job to save them down individually rather than clicking on both and running them together, because what you'll want is an individual page for each customer. So you see the way we've saved it down. So it's in one PDF. If we did it individually and ran that process twice, we'd have 2 PDFs there. And then you can just copy one of the PDFs and email it off to your customer, tell him what he owes. There's a month-end process that we will go through in later classes as well, where you can run a month-end process and the system will email out the statements for you. So it's automated, which is good. We can close that window. On to the next one. So that's a debtor statement. So print an audit trail. And this would normally be for, so if you go to your transactions button here, it literally lists every single transaction you've posted in Sage. So normally, if you're being audited or something like that, your auditors would look for an audit trail report because it gives every little transaction that's posted. So you can see them in the type column. They're all abbreviated, so you can kind of figure out what they are. And they should ring a bell, which is so JC just means journal credit entry. JD is journal debit entry. EI is purchase invoices. PP is purchase payment. Tells you over here in the details section for some of them. SI sales invoice. SC sales credit. We did a credit for them. SR sales receipt, so where they paid us. GC and JD, that's just journals again. EI is purchase invoice. EP is purchase payment, where they actually paid us. EP, what was this one again? Oh, bank payment. Payment out of our bank for salaries. Yeah, so I think we've covered most of the GC. Yeah. So there's a button up here for audit trail report. In your transactions window, transactions module. You can do a summarized one, a detailed one, or a brief one. So brief is normally fine. Run brief one. Date range is fine. And then you can see what it looks like. It just lists off all of the transactions and the amounts related to those transactions. So again, if you're doing this as part of your job in your company, chances are this will be pages and pages long. Just on a small example here or an exercise, so there's not a whole file there. Again, export, set up a folder, export. Okay, very easy. And then here's just another list of reports that you'll be asked to print in your project. So it's kind of knowing where to navigate to them. You can kind of guess most of them once you kind of figure out what they're related to. So supplier daybook report and supplier credit daybook report. So they're obviously going to be in the supplier section. So suppliers, and then over to your reports button. So every window you go into have a reports button. So it will be the related reports to the window you're in. So if we go to this one here, so the first one we're looking for is supplier daybook report. So that would be in daybooks. And then you have to kind of scroll down here. There's loads of different ones. So the one we're looking for again is supplier daybook report. So if you think about it, what would you want to see for the month? So you'd want to see your supplier invoices and your supplier credits. Now, if you don't need to see a report, a quick way to have a look at that is in the activity button. Sorry, purchase orders. You need to obviously select them first. So if you select all of them, just hold down the control button and click them all, and hit the activity button, and it will show you the different activities. So the purchase invoice, the purchase payment, and the chip payment is via check number 2. So, but if you want to run the report, so daybook report, and let's look for a supplier invoice first. So here's supplier invoice summary, supplier invoice details. Normally the summary reports will do, unless for some specific reason your boss wants to see a detailed supplier invoice report, which would detail everything that was on each of the invoices. But if you just want to summarize report, go for supplier invoice summary. Double click on that. Let's run that one. Okay, so here's the list of purchase invoices. Who the supplier was, lovely looks, or Vodafone, or D Motors, and the details and the amounts. And again, I won't save all these, but you just save them the same way. Export, save them as a folder. Our credit debit report. So that's a list of supplier credits. So that was our supplier invoices we looked at. Then up near the top is supplier credits. That's a detailed one. So let's go with the summary one, supplier credits summary. You can also hit the preview, just hover over the preview button here and actually tell you what it looks like before you run it. So that's probably a good thing to do. So if you like the look of it, then you can just run it. If you like the look of a different one better, you can just run that one. And so again, run it, save it then, same thing as before. Aged creditor analysis report. So that will be up in the age creditors section up here. Age creditor analysis is the top one on the list. Again, hover over it, that's what it looks like. So let's double click on it and run it. And there's your age creditor analysis. So lovely looks limited. It has a credit limit of 50,000. The balance they owe us is 5073. And it's all current, meaning it's all belonging to this month, so it's not 30 days old yet. Then period one would be 30 days old, 30 60 to 90. Period three is 60 to 90, and older, 90 plus days would be old. So you'd want to be getting on the phone to try to chase that up. Customer daybook. So then same thing on the other side, then your customer's daybook and your customer credit daybook and age debtors. So just the opposite of what we've just done. So we want to go to the customer section and reports and daybooks. So you'd be looking for customer invoice summary. You would run that one, and then customer credits summary, you would run that one. And then age debtors, you would go to the age debt section, age debtor analysis. Again, I won't run all these, same thing, I'll just run this one because there's two. Sorry, there's not two, that was a sample. It was coming up in the preview, was like an example version. So this is all we have. He owes us, one customer owes us 7029, and it's all current as well. So that's all your sales type reports and your age debtors. Then bank payments debit, bank reconciliation report. Again, you would close the window and you would go down to your bank section and reports. And you can see on the left the list of kind of categories. So bank payments and receipts. So there it is. Bank payments and receipts. That's what it looks like. So you can run that one. And bank reconciliations. So reconciled and unreconciled transactions. Or reconciled transactions. So bank reconciled, there's multiple versions of this. So again, you can a lot of them will be quite similar. So you can pick the one that looks most useful, or in this case, whichever one we're being asked for in the exercise, and run that off and save it. So that's then the bank sections. So then we're talking about kind of the month end reports, the trial balance, profit and loss, and balance sheet reports. They would all be in the nominal code section. They're all related to your general ledger. And you can go through the reports button over here, or you can see they have their own specific buttons up the top. So trial balance, profit and loss, and balance sheet. So let's run a trial balance one first. Okay, so there's our trial balance at the end of the year. You can actually, these are all links, you can click into them and it'll give you the report, the details, the breakdown of each of those. So that's why it's good to play around with this to kind of get used to it. But that's what our trial balance looks like. Let's save that one down. Save it down, easy. Profit and loss, likewise. Run that. Hit OK. The templates are already built into Sage, and it takes the relevant ledger details and populates this for you. So period being the month we're in, year to date being the start of your financial year. So in our case, January to date, we've only done an exercise for November, so your period is the same as your year to date. So if we went on and did another exercise for December, our period would show up in December, and year to date would be November plus December. So product sales, purchases, and standard P&L layout gives you gross profit, and then any other expenses broken down by the nominal ledger codes to get you to a net profit or loss position. So, okay, I won't say this because it's the same process again. And then we run our balance sheet. Same thing again, templates built in Sage, and it's taken from the nominal ledgers and it's populating for you. So very good, very useful tool. Once you're posting all of your transactions to your ledger at the end of the month, you just click a button and you have your profit and loss and balance sheet. And it tells you what your net asset or net liability position is. So in this case, we have motor vehicles worth 25,000. We have current assets, all of these ones, which add up to 72. And then we have current liabilities of 5. So current assets less current liabilities, 72 minus 5 is 6. And then add your motor vehicles to get your total assets less current liabilities, so you 92. And then your capital section, which is your share capital of 85 and profit we've just made for the month. That's also 92, so your balance sheet is balancing. It's all good. I won't say that down either, but same thing again. And okay, audit trail we've done. Quick ratio reports. There's also a button up here. Sorry. Okay, it's working now for me. I don't know why it wasn't working there. So when the nominal code screen, we hit the ratio button, we hit the print button, and okay. And it's basically just showing us the debit side is all of the cash or receivables balances we have available, and the credit side is all of our accruals or payables balance. So the quick ratio is just having a look at your cash or your receivables balance and comparing it to your payables balance. So you should always have more cash and receivables than you have payables and accruals. So it's just a quick report to be able to check that. Okay, now a couple more features. So set up a budget for blacktops, 120,000 over 12 months, and do a screenshot for evidence. Just in your project, you'll be doing a screenshot and pasting it into your solution. Okay, so let's actually use the manual to help us with this. Let's go. I do want people to start using the manual as well to kind of help themselves through that. Through various things. And so when you're doing your project as well, hopefully you can refer to your manual if you're stuck on any areas. Okay, so budgets, so nominal code section and then the budgets button. So let's go there. Nominal codes, budgets button. And yes, I think it tells us then that we have to change some settings. So follow the instructions that or the wizard and change it to advanced. So let's go yes. If you want to continue, yes. Let's put in our password again. Okay, budgeting method advanced. Let's just double check. Do we need to change anything else? In depth, layout of accounts, fine. Okay, and hit OK. And yes. Okay, so now we go back to the normal codes and our budget button, and it should work now. Here we go. So we're trying to set up a budget for blacktops for 120,000. So we have to find the nominal code for black tops. So the sales, expand this button out, product sales, and black tops is 4001. Select that, then put in our total budget, 120,000. Total budget 20,000. That's 120,000. And the pop-up will say, do you want to report across 12 months? Yes, we do. Okay, so now your budget down here is said 10,000 a month for 12 months, which is 120,000. Now you'll notice you would normally do this at the start of the year, or at the end of the year. You would do it for the next year. So we're in November now, so that's why it's showing up like this. But you see, if we were doing it in January, it would have 10,000 out for every month, and then as you go through the month and you record your sales, it will then show you, like it's showing us in November, we're 3,350 below budgeted sales. And because we budgeted 10,000 sales, we only sold 6,650. So if you do it at the start of the year, you can kind of record this. It's a useful tool to help you budget and see how you're getting on with your sales figures and sales targets. Okay. Okay, so then you would just do a screenshot of this. Because everyone's computer is a wee bit different in terms of how you do a screenshot. So maybe just use Google. On mine, it's Alt, and there's a print screen button. Or a good tool is also down here. You can search for a snipping tool, and you can use that to do screenshots. Select new. You can just drag it over the section. It's done a screenshot, and then you right click and you copy, and then you can paste it. It's a snipping tool that's handy to use for stuff like this. Okay, so we'll save that. It's our budget done. Now let's complete and print a VAT return. Okay, again, it's in your manual. So let's use the manual as well. VAT return. There we go. Okay, so go to the VAT section and hit the VAT return button, which is up here. Actually, sorry, one step before you do this, I would recommend opening. Sorry, we saved trial balance down. So let's just open our trial balance. Okay, let's just open our trial balance, and I'll tell you why now in a sec. Okay, so here's our trial balance. So basically, purchase tax control account is basically purchases VAT. So we would be hoping to see purchases VAT of 7015 in our VAT return, and sales VAT, sales tax control account, of 3963. Okay, so that's what we should be seeing when we go to our VAT return. So let's go VAT return, and then down here click calculate VAT return. So it will calculate the VAT from what's being recorded in the ledger to the VAT control account, to the VAT receivable account, VAT payable account. Hit OK. VAT charged on supply of goods and services. So if you've supplied a good or a service, that's a sale. So your sales VAT is 3936. Let's just check that back to the 3936. It's just rounded down because it doesn't do decimal places, so that's fine. VAT on purchases 7016, 701550, so it's rounded up, so that's fine. So we're all good on that. And let's go back to our manual. So we check that, and then we need to reconcile the VAT return. Okay, so it's brought us on to the next page. Then we go reconcile the VAT return. Yeah, we've checked it back to the trial balance, so we're happy enough with that. Okay, close this pop-up window, so you can see now that this says reconciled. And so there is a way you can submit this online via Sage. We won't go into that just yet. That's if your company is using Sage and has it linked up with revenue system, and you can submit it automatically through Sage. Otherwise, you would kind of just print this and go online, type in the amount you owe and submit it, and make the payment. So you can also post the journal there of the sales tax amounts. And if you are making the payment at the same time, you can enter the details in here and post bank receipt. That will update your bank records as well, showing that the payment has gone out. Okay, so we will, let's just click post our journal, it's transferred, and let's say we are making the payment today as well. Sorry, this one actually, there's no payment to make here because our purchase tax is 7,000 and our sales tax that we owe to the government is only 3,900. So it's actually a receipt. So we file this with them, telling us that we're reclaiming the balance, 3,080, because our purchase tax was higher. So then when they pay us, when we receive that refund, then we would click this button. So let's close it for now. Okay. So you see the VAT transfer is done there. So you've done your VAT return. It's not paid yet. So whenever you see the receipt coming into your bank that the revenue have actually paid you, you can open this up again and you can fill in these details saying that that's been paid. Debit, VAT refund, post bank receipt, and close. And now paid is gone to yes. Okay. So that's your VAT return. The VAT return is quite simple. The important thing in the VAT return is that all the transactions during the month, you've recorded them correctly and updated your ledgers so that all your invoices that you've processed, that the sales VAT has been posted to the ledger because you've updated the ledgers for all of those, and likewise your purchases, your supplier purchases, that all of the invoices, you've updated your ledger, so all of the purchases VAT has been updated to the VAT account in your general ledger as well. And any other expenses that there's VAT on, that they've been recorded appropriately. So all the work is done at the time you're doing the transactions and updating your ledger. So then at the end of the month, the system's already telling you what is in the VAT general ledger accounts. It's pulling them into the VAT return for you, and then you either owe revenue a payment if your sales tax is higher than your purchase tax, sorry, VAT I should say, or they owe you money, a refund if your purchase VAT is higher than your sales VAT. Okay, so that's your VAT return. Back up your company to your computer USB in a folder called backup version 1. And it's just a note on what backing up is. It's basically taking saving and downloading a copy of all the data on your Sage system that at that point in time. Different companies will have different policies on this, whether you should do it every evening before you close down your computer, or whether you do it once a week, once a month, whatever. If it's not very time consuming, I suppose the more often you do it, the better. And it's to use for recovery. So in case some massive mistake is made in Sage, that you need to, reverse, or if you've made some colossal error, or if you need to go back to yesterday's version of the data, or if your data is lost or corrupted somehow. So you come in one morning and you open up Sage and everything is missing or gone, or something has happened, it's gone wrong. These things do happen. You can go back to the backup you did yesterday or the previous week, and you can restore from the backup and you can start from that point again. So that's kind of what backing up is. So let's just do a backup. So go up to top left, file, and the backup button here. So backup, you want to continue, yes. And then you can select everything you want to include in your backup: data files, any attachments you've uploaded, report files, templates, images, etc. Data files is probably the most important, or if you want, to probably take a bit longer if you're using attachments and you're attaching different things to it. You can select all and do that. I'm just going to go with data files for now. That's the name that it will be saved as, and location, you can go browse and you can select a location. So your company might have a server location that you would save backups to. So it's going to be quite large. You don't want to be saving them on your desktop anyway. So it should be in a server location. So for this example, because I'm just using a laptop here, I'm just going to go desktop and I'm going to, I'm just going to say, yeah, I've already got a folder called Sage Backups. I'm going to go there. And, okay, would you like to check your data before backing up? We just go no there. And then you just leave it running and it will tell you when it's complete. Okay, that was quite quick because we don't have a whole pile of data in ours yet. So the back has been successful. That's okay. And we're done. Always a good practice to just check your folders that what you've saved has actually saved there, just in case it's gone somewhere else by accident. Sage backups. So today is 16th of the 11th, half one. So that's it. There it is. It's saved correctly. And so we know it's there. So if something went wrong tomorrow or the next day or whatever, and there's nothing in our Sage or there's errors all over, or it's corrupted, we want to restore the backup we've done. So you go File, Store, Browse, and you search for your backup. And make sure you select the right one or the most recent one, and then you hit OK. So obviously, if I go ahead and do it, it will overwrite my current data. So I'm not going to go ahead with it because I have no reason to restore from the backup data. But if you did need to do that, you just hit yes and let it run, and it will bring all your data back in. Okay. That's it for this exercise. So that's just a few other useful tools on Sage and showing you how to navigate them and how to find them.